Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Danion's Gaming Up. My name is of course Danion and welcome to Tal Rasha's Madness, Elemental Chaos. So, what is it all about, you might ask? What is this build? What is this crazy elemental chaos you're talking about? And look, I changed shirts, it's a black one now, haha. Little magic effect. There are so many builds out there right now. Arcane, Frostbolt, Hand of Woe, Firebirds. People are always going for that particular set because it's the most damaging one. And sure, it can be nice, but I am always trying to find out builds that are new and exciting and very fun to play. This is more of a fun, semi-pro build in order to see as much damage on the screen as possible and to really feel like you're playing a wizard. Is that you're not going to go for one thing, but you're controlling all of the elements. All of the chaos that you can manipulate is what you're going to throw out. And that is what I wanted to achieve with this build. And I think I succeeded pretty well. So the main thing that you're going to need for this build is, of course, Tal Rasha's set. As you can see, I have only 3 parts, but with the Ring of Royal Conjurer, you can reduce the number of items needed for set bonuses by 1. So with that, you can have the 4th set bonus. The 4th set bonus of this is damaging enemies with Arcane, Cold, Fire or Lightning will cause a meteor of the same damage type to fall from the sky. This is what you're going to see in the video at the end of this little guide, as that they are everywhere. They're constantly falling, because I'm going for as much elemental damage as possible, like Cold, wow, brain fart. Cold, Lightning, Fire and Arcane. There are meteors everywhere, and especially if you use Black Hole to center them together and everything procs, like for example all the damage you do, you're gonna do an insane amount of damage. I even managed to get more elemental damage, for example Andreal's Visage, Poison Nova, but you have to be in melee range for that. And the only thing I don't have is Holy, which is unfortunate. But the other thing that you really need for this build is the legendary gem called Simplicity Strength, and preferably as much upgraded as possible. As you can see here, it's only on rank 3. I've been playing on my season wizard for most of the times. It's already rank 20 or 21 on there. Yeah, I think so. And it's really boosting the damage of your magic missile. And yes, we're gonna do magic missile as a primary attack. You're gonna see why. And you can go for Pain Enhancer for the increased dot effect, or you can go for Wrath of Lightning, that it even shows more on the screen. Personally, I like this a little bit more, especially on single target bosses, for example, doing bounties or doing the Greater Rift Guardians. Single target DPS is a little bit better on there. Wrath of Lightning is better for multiple elite packs and everything. So you can choose between those. And third item that you might need or want is Thunder Fury. On my season character, I have Thunder Fury. I've been playing this character for I don't know how long. I think 200-300 hours already. Never seen it drop. Played on my season wizard like, hey, Thunder Fury. And it has an insane good roll as well. So, but Thunder Fury as well. It procs everywhere, lightning everywhere, even more elemental damage on the screen. You're really feeling like a wizard. Alright, enough rambling. Let's get to the build, shall we? Otherwise you're gonna be like... Alright, first of all, the passive skills. We're gonna go full damage on this one. Unwavering Will. Standing still for 1.5 seconds increases the following attributes: armor, resistance, and damage. It's awesome. It's perfect. Everything increases in toughness and your damage is being increased. Audacity. Most of the mobs are gonna come to you anyway, so you might as well take this one. Since we're not gonna choose anything else, you might remove Audacity of a Glass Cannon for Blur or Dominance. Because most of the mobs are going to die before they come to you, but elite packs will always be near you at one way or another. So that's why I'm going to go with Audacity, but if you have a problem with toughness, you might want to go for Dominance or Blur. Preferably Dominance, because that shield is really good, and 17% less damage taken is very nice, but that shield is always up and it's so much damage that it can absorb. Elemental Exposure, of course, because we're going to throw out all the elements we have: Fire, Lightning, Arcane, Cold, even Poison, even physical bleed damage. Not that it really counts, but still, this just increases the amount of damage done to your mobs. And since we're going to do a lot of AoE as well, the elemental exposure is instantly applied to all of the mobs in a very small area. Very nice. And then in the last one, of course, Glass Cannon, increase all damage done by 15%. That is, it's like, it's a given. You always take that one. At least I always take it. It's the only one I swap out easily if I go into higher torments. You could make this build viable in doing it in Torment 6 if you take Glass Cannon and go into Dominance and you go Audacity and go into Blur, for example. It increases your toughness by an insane amount, and especially with the shield that you're gonna get, it will definitely be a major upgrade in your survivability. But in this case, I'm just gonna go for full damage. There we go. Alright, then let's take a look at the skills, shall we? Black Hole. There are a couple of runes that you can take for Black Hole, but since we're going for as much damage as possible, I like to have Spell Steal, because we're gonna have like big elite packs or really big packs just really packed together. I like to have that increased damage, but Supermassive is also very potent because it increases the radius to 20 yards. And especially with Magic Missile, since that is the most damaging ability we have, except for the Meteors, of course, and the Energy Twister. That is our main damage, basically. Supermassive will make it easier for us to hit multiple enemies that are really packed together, and for the Meteors to hit them all at the same time. These are all not really interesting. And then we come to Magic Missile, and you might say, why Magic Missile? Electrocute is not really strong. It hits a lot of enemies, and it's definitely like Lightning Wizard and Elemental, but it's not strong enough. Spectral Blade is really fun, but in my own opinion, it's just not powerful enough. Shock Pulse, never really liked Shock Pulse anyway. It's just too weak. Magic Missile, however, with Charge Blast as a rune, hits for 10 to 15 million. And it is boosted by your attack speed of your weapon. And I have a 1.4 speed weapon, so it's like you attack insanely fast, which is very nice. And it's really good. It doesn't cost resources, it doesn't cost arcane power, so you always have your primary weapon up. And that is the reason why we go for the legendary gem Simplicity Strength, because it increases this damage. All the way up to rank 25, this gem is like, whoa, insane. It also increases your survivability very hard if you reach 25 on that one. So this build can suddenly become very potent on Torment 6 if you have it on rank 25. For Magic Weapon, Force Weapon, increase damage bonus of your Magic Weapon to 20%. It's like a given. It is amazing. I have been trying Electrify and I have been trying Ignite. Electrify is nice, but it's just too little damage. Sure, you see even more lightning going around. It's fun. It's really cool. Especially with Thunder Fury and the Storm Armor. There is so much going on the screen. But 61% weapon damage is really low. It's like, I want to do damage, but I can't. Ignite. Nice amount of damage. 300% weapon damage as fire over 3 seconds. Again, increases the amount of elemental we do. But our Spark Flint already does that as well. So fire is something we don't need. Ignite is nice for single target mobs. But again, it just doesn't do that much damage. And this boosts up everything you have. Every damage ability, just 10% increase over the magic weapon itself already. So that is why I'm going to go for Force Weapon, just for the extra amount of 10% weapon damage. It's really good. Conjurer is something we don't need because we don't use Arcane Power. Storm Armor. Storm Armor. I haven't used you in such a long time. I only use you when I level. Shocking Aspect. Critical hits have a chance to electrocute a nearby enemy for 425% weapon damage as lightning. Base yourself in electrical energy, periodically shocking a nearby enemy for 175% weapon damage as lightning. It procs very fast. It even procs on mobs that are not even on your screen yet. The most amazing thing about this is it procs your lightning meteor from your Tal Rasha set. So you suddenly see a meteor flying from the sky and gonna be like, oh, there's a mob. I didn't even know that. And that is why I really like Storm Armor, because one, it does a really nice amount of damage, especially with Shocking Aspect is really interesting. But it just adds up to the whole idea of playing a wizard, controlling the elements all around you. Meteors are just falling from the sky, and you don't even control that meteor as of yet, but it is just there. It works for you. It does damage to the mobs. It is really fun. It's really amazing to see that it just suddenly a meteor comes down, and then you see fire meteors coming down there, and a frost meteor over there, and an arcane meteor over there, and then you see lightning all over the screen, lightning bolts from down, and then you're doing damage out of your own. It's amazing to see. You're gonna watch in a video in a couple of minutes. We're gonna go for for familiar first. Spark Flint, summon a fiery elemental, then grants 10% increased damage. And summon a fire elemental that attacks your enemies for 240% weapon damage as Arcane. Very, very, very nice. Just boosts up the damage, just increases the damage overall. Again, applies arcane damage, which is really interesting. Cannoneer can be fun, because it again increases the amount of area damage. Can be very potent, especially with Black Hole, to increase the overall damage. I've been playing with it, Sparkflint and Cannoneer, for I think a good amount of time, just to see what is better. And overall, I think Sparkflint is just better because it also increases the damage of your meteors and from your magic missile and from your black hole as a whole. And with single target, again, Cannoneer is just not that great. And then we have the, how to say it in perfect, Energy Twister. I've been playing with this one around a lot because we still need an arcane power spender, otherwise we're just gonna walk around for the most of the time. And I picked up Energy Twister. You could go for Meteor, especially with Star Pact. Expend all remaining arcane power. Each point of our extra arcane power spent increase the impact damage of Meteor by 20%. So if you're sitting on 125 arcane power, that's a lot of increasement, and it hits hard. It really hits hard. But since we don't have really that much arcane regeneration, getting back to that 40 arcane power constantly is a little bit annoying because you want to throw out those meteors. Molten Impact, really nice because it adds that burn effect. Again, really feel the elemental wizard idea, but it adds a 15-second cooldown. By the time my arcane pool has been filled up for 10 seconds already, so I'm just wasting arcane power. That's the reason I don't take this. Blizzard has been crap for as long as I know. It's really unfortunate. In terms of slowing them down and increasing your elemental as frost, as cold, Blizzard can be helpful. Blizzard can be really interesting. Wave of Force, also pretty interesting, but not really. The reason I went for Energy Twister and then the Wicked Wind, because it no longer travels, it stays put. Which means for most of the bosses and elite packs can be really interesting because you pull them all together. So you place your Energy Twister at one point, pull the mobs in there with your black hole, and do massive amount of damage. Especially with the meteors coming down, with the magic missile doing damage, black hole doing damage, Wicked Wind doing damage. It really goes fast. Mobs are just vanishing. The reason that they don't travel anymore is really nice because you can control where you place them. Wicked Wind is, for me, the most interesting one to use because you can spend them really quickly because 35 arcane power. I can throw out 5 before they disappear, before my arcane power is done. My arcane power is back up, they have disappeared, I can throw them again. And it's just a click of a button, within 3 or 4 seconds I have them up again and they're doing really nice amount of damage. And it is arcane damage as well, and which is nice. I've been playing with Hydra as well, especially with the Blazing Hydra. Single target Blazing Hydra is very powerful. Unless you have the item that increases your Hydras by 2, I wouldn't recommend Hydra. If you have it, you can use that one. But for this, it's Energy Twister. So, as a quick update, as you can see on the screen right now, this is my talents and my passive skills. I really like this build. It really adds to that wizard feeling that you can control all the elements and that you are powerful enough to summon meteors on your command and smash your enemies with it. It's not going to be the best build out there, but it's going to be a fun build, and I really suggest that you try it because it's something that is completely new, and the only thing that you really need is Tal Rashas and the legendary gems. But the legendary gems, I think when I started doing it, especially on my season character, and they have hardly any gear at all, well now they do, but the moment I started with it, I think within a couple of hours I had the legendary gems, and I'm pretty sure that everyone out there has the legendary gems already. If not, go get them, they're very powerful. Tal Rasha, you just have to be lucky as well with the ring, as well as with Thunder Fury. Anyway, that was it for this little guide. I hope that you enjoyed it so far. I hope you're going to enjoy the video, and I'm really hoping that you're going to try out this build, because it really gives you that wizardly feeling. Anyway, that was it, and keep on winning.